If you spent any time online and you've searched the terms inspiration or motivation or business, coaching, any of these terms, you've doubtless been bombarded with all sorts of ads promising you the world. Maybe how to scale your business for millions of dollars, or the one secret to running a YouTube ad that converts every single time. Or maybe a business guru who's going to tell you an incredible story about how they went from completely broke to an 8-figure business in several months, right? All of these stories sound very similar to every single ad that you're going to see online. And all of these gurus and these mentors and these coaches promise the world. Now, this toxic? Is this self-help environment that we're in, especially with everything online, toxic? Is it a part of business growth? What's up, everyone? My name is Jonathan. I'm the host here at The Jono Show. It's a podcast where we talk about all sorts of incredible topics with some of the most incredible guests. And I encourage you to check that out if you haven't checked out that side of the channel already. For now, though, we're going to talk about the self-help culture and really dive into whether it's toxic or not. I myself have thought about coaching, and I myself have been coached and been mentored by many different people. And when I think about it, I think, is this something that is necessary, or does this put us in a constant spiral of never feeling like we're enough? And is it toxic? Is it actually hurting the businesses that we run? Is it hurting us mentally and emotionally? So in today's video, we're going to dive into that. But before we do that, I did want to ask you, if you have checked out any of these videos before, if you're watching this video right now and you like this topic and you want to hear more videos like it, please consider subscribing. It makes a huge difference to me, the rest of the team here who is producing these shows, and we would love to have you as a part of our community. We're passionate here about personal development and self-development, and we feel like bringing you content that helps you get to your best potential and your biggest potential in life is something that we're so passionate about. So consider subscribing and follow us along in that journey. Get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, because this is something that we have seen so often, especially online. So many gurus, so many people have courses, there are free webinars, there are all these different things. And then there's an entire culture around coaches for those coaches, right? There are people that offer coaches to help other people raise their offers, right? How do you have a 6-figure coaching business? How do you have a 7-figure and 8-figure coaching business? How do you have a mastermind, right? There are all these different topics floating around. And I think for the average person, it can be fairly overwhelming. I know for myself, when I first got into business, the thought of even taking on a business coach was so daunting because I was just starting to learn so much in my own business. And I didn't really understand what I didn't know. I didn't really know what I did know. And I was still finding my balance a little bit in the world and trying to understand, what I was doing, what I was good at. Now, I've made previous videos about the differences between coaches and mentors, and I encourage you to go check that out because that can really be a clarifying point. But the focus of this video today is to really understand, are coaches necessary? Are mentors necessary? Are gurus creating kind of this fake, toxic environment that these motivation junkies just get off on all day? I think yes and no. I think it depends on the business coach, right? And like in so many things in life, you can have someone who does a great job, a really quality job at presenting the topics that they're passionate about, and they can actually help you result in business growth and, make some real changes in your business. It can just be totally fluff. It can be recycled business courses from other people and just stuff that's taken from books. And there may be not a lot of originality in that. So I really think it depends on the coach you're talking about. I think it depends on the mentor you're talking to. And so I think that it's very, very important to be discerning when you look at who these people are, right? And so I have a couple of different tips for ways to help you actually weigh out how you should decide who you should listen to, right? In the noise that is in today's environment. And especially, if the marketers are doing their jobs and they're filling your inbox full of marketing emails and upsells and downsells and all sorts of different things, understanding who to listen to, who to trust is definitely a big topic. So let's get into that today. A couple different tips for you. First, I like to see that the business coach or the mentor has actually seen personal success in an area. It's not just that they've sold a bunch of courses and they've made a bunch of money, because that's possible doing anything. You promise someone enough and you take their money and then you're going to make money off of them, even if they never come back. But I think the mark of a truly successful coach or mentor is someone who's actually made money in the line of business that they are coaching or mentoring, right? Have they actually made a lot of money or had a big career in advertising or marketing? Do they know things about Facebook ads, or did they just go to a couple of courses and read a couple of books and run a couple of ads and think that they could teach everyone, and so decided to run a course? Especially in my industry, being in the wedding and event industry, so many folks, didn't have business coming through. And so they decided to pivot and take on coaching. And I'm not knocking any of those folks. I think that's actually incredible. But I think you really, really have to demonstrate as a coach, to be honest, you have to demonstrate that you've actually achieved real success and you're not just trying to make money off of someone. Now, the other thing that I like to see is that the students of these folks, whether they are mentors or coaches, I like to see the students and the people that listen to them actually see real success and real results. And so there are ways to find that out, right? Of course, many gurus and business coaches have lists of testimonials, but I wouldn't look at those lists of testimonials, right? There's nothing that would incentivize them to put negative reviews on their site. So for me, I like to go kind of off script here. I like to do a Google search of the person's name and really dig into their story and understand who they are, and not just everything they decide to write about themselves, but what have other people decided to write about them? Are there businesses that they run that you can see Yelp reviews? Are there other places online that people have taken the time to write about them? And these aren't just blogs, like I said, that these different business gurus or coaches write or their teams write about them, but I'm talking about interviews that happen. I'm talking about other people that have interfaced and worked and been coached by these people who have actually seen real results in their business. That's a big one. The results always speak. So that's point number 2, making sure that the students of these people, previous students, have actually seen real results and really understanding who those students are. Which leads me to my third point, which is understand yourself and your business enough to know that is the material being presented going to make a meaningful difference in your business. So many people don't necessarily need to make or plan on making or want to make 8 figures a year, right? Over $10 million. Some people don't necessarily want to make $1 million, right? Some people want to make 6 figures. Some people are perfectly happy having a side hustle and making 5 figures. So don't allow yourself to get into that FOMO mindset, right? The fear of missing out, where you feel like, oh my goodness, if I don't buy this course, I'm not going to be successful at all. Take a moment, understand what does success look like for you, and then understand, does the person who is selling you this course or wanting you to be part of their community or their mastermind, can they actually make a meaningful difference to help you get to where your definition of success is, not theirs? So that's really, really, really important. And that takes someone, again, who's discerning, who's willing to take that personal time to kind of just say, what am I looking for? What am I looking to get out of this? And that will really help you to understand how much money you should spend on this, right? I mean, there are coaching courses that are $100,000 a year and communities that are $100,000 a year. And then there are communities, that are $50 a month, fairly inexpensive. You really have to understand what kind of business you run, what can your market hold, and really the type of impact that the advice that these folks are giving to you, whether it's from a mentorship level or whether it's from a coach level, what's the overall impact? You should invest $1 and at least get a minimum $1 back, right? That's the whole idea of investing. What's the same idea when you're thinking about investing in yourself and personal growth? So with that said, it really is tricky. It depends on the person, whether it's toxic or not. And I definitely think the presence of these coaches and these gurus and these marketers have definitely cast a lot of negative light on this entire industry, but I do think it's important. I do think as part of personal growth, it's important for us to wrestle with who we are as people, what we value, and to constantly be trying to get better every single day. I know for me, that's made a huge difference in my life and taken my life from where it was, where I wasn't making any money, where I was really frustrated, and where I really didn't have a lot of synergy or passion around what I was doing, to what I'm doing now, which is working with incredible people, making great money, me in what I do with the wedding and event side of things, despite everything that's going on in this pandemic. And, just really feeling happy and pumped and fulfilled with who I'm able to engage with. So just challenge you to think about that a little bit as you're thinking about coaching and these gurus and this whole entire environment that exists, certainly online. You see it in Clubhouse, you see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook. So yeah, as you're thinking about that, definitely keep these things in mind. Let me know if any of these points made a difference to you, or if any of them were impactful to you in the comments below. I'd love to answer your questions and even make follow-up videos if there are further topics that came up. All right, make sure you're subscribed again to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.